Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and expose the invisible financial cage that's keeping so many of us exhausted and completely dependent. Most of us feel pretty trapped by our finances at some point in our lives. But honestly, the absolute hardest part of it all is that we usually can't even see the bars of the cage. So, today, we're going to dive deep and map out the specific traps that keep the vast majority of hardworking people broke.
Seriously, why are you still struggling? It is such a harsh reality for so many intelligent, dedicated people. I mean, think about it. You wake up early, you battle through traffic, and you literally trade your physical health and your mental peace for a paycheck. But then by the end of the month, after rent, groceries, and just an endless stack of bills, your account is practically back to zero. It's frustrating, right? It leaves you wondering why you're running so incredibly fast just to stay in exactly the same place.
And this brilliantly illustrates the brutal truth that society basically hides from you. The system isn't broken. It's just doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is keep you dependent. Modern consumerism is literally engineered with these deep psychological traps to ensure your money flows out just as fast as it flows in. If you don't map out exactly where these traps are hidden, you're going to step right on them every single time you get a raise.
So let's look at the financial matrix from the inside. We're going to map out the exact traps you must avoid to build real freedom. The good debt illusion, the linear income ceiling, the consumption validation trap, paralysis by perfection, and finally, how we go about escaping the rat race.
All right, let's hit trap number 1, the good debt illusion, or what's basically the credit matrix.
Now, what's really interesting here is how financial institutions market debt. They frame it as rewards points or building credit to completely normalizing financing everything from weekend vacations to brand new cars. But let's actually look at the math for net wealth growth. It's your assets appreciation rate minus the debt's interest rate. So if you're paying 10% interest on a new car that depreciates 20% the second you drive it off the lot, wow, you are literally paying extra money to own something that is actively losing value. It's a mathematical trap designed to drain your future income before you've even earned it.
Contrast that working-class trap of consumer debt with the elite mindset. The top 1% treat debt entirely differently. They don't borrow money for depreciating liabilities. They use debt strictly as leverage to buy cash-flowing assets. If they take a loan at 6% interest, it's only because they're using that capital to buy an asset yielding 15%, and they pocket the difference. Listen, if your debt isn't actively putting money back into your pocket, you aren't a customer, you're a servant to the bank.
Let's move on and see how this builds directly into trap number 2, the linear income ceiling.
So the crucial point here is that time is the ultimate equalizer. We all only get 24 hours in a day, right? It really doesn't matter if you're a minimum wage worker or a lawyer charging $500 an hour. If 1 hour of work equals 1 unit of pay and your income stops the second your hands stop moving, you are caught in the trap. You physically cannot work 100 hours a day to scale your wealth. It's a hard, physical ceiling.
Trading your hours for survival is a game you mathematically cannot win. The elite completely avoid hourly labor. Instead, they focus entirely on asymmetrical returns. They use their waking hours to construct systems that completely decouple their time from their earnings. They don't just work hard, they build machines that work hard for them.
You absolutely must shift your mindset from being a laborer to being an asset architect. You need to make money while you're sleeping. How? By building leverage. Write scalable software. A line of code never asks for overtime pay, right? Create enduring digital media assets that generate revenue 24/7. Or build business operations that are handled by other people's labor. If you don't do this, you're essentially going to be forced to work until the day you die.
Okay, trap number 3. This one is brutal. The consumption validation trap.
This trap is basically a psychological disease driven by social media, and it absolutely destroys middle-class earners. It's lifestyle inflation. You get a promotion, your income goes up, and instead of buying your financial freedom, you lease a flashy car for the social media likes. It's like wearing a designer belt funded by a maxed-out credit card. We end up working these exhausting hours just to impress people we don't even like with luxury liabilities. Meanwhile, the 1% keep their baseline expenses super disciplined and quietly invest their extra cash in stock charts and land.
Because here is the secret. True wealth is invisible. Remind yourself that real billionaires don't rely on flashy logos to prove their status. They prove it through their bank balances, their investments, and their absolute control over their own time. Freedom is the ultimate flex. When your income grows, let your investments grow, not your wardrobe. Focus on actually being rich, not just looking rich.
Which brings us to trap number 4, paralysis by perfection. This is the absolute biggest dream killer in the modern digital economy. People wait for the perfect equipment, the perfect logo, or the perfect plan before taking action. But this brilliantly illustrates the reality. The market does not reward polished plans sitting on a hard drive. It rewards execution, immediate feedback, and fast adaptation. If you aren't slightly embarrassed by your first draft, you launch too late. Speed wins over precision every single time.
You have to stop sitting on the sidelines just endlessly researching. Clarity is only found in raw, unpolished execution. Pitch that client today. Create with the tools you literally have in your hands right now and fix your mistakes while you're already in motion. You learn infinitely more from launching a messy product than from theorizing about a perfect one.
Okay, let's dive into the final phase of this explainer, escaping the rat race.
So what does this all mean? The crucial point is that decoupling your time and escaping the rat race isn't about getting lucky. It's about making these 4 disciplined choices every single day. Number 1, eliminate consumer debt. Stop financing liabilities. 2, build scalable assets to decouple your time from your earnings. 3, focus on being rich, not just looking rich. And 4, replace your overthinking with rapid execution.
I want to leave you with this. Take a really honest look at your lifestyle right now. Which of these 4 traps is holding you back the most? The door to the cage is actually unlocked. You just have to choose to walk through it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Protect your capital, break free, and I'll catch you next time.